The girl who said that all redheads are black literally has people on here crying.
Why gingers are black? A lot of y'all Irish people were right beside black people on the plantation. Okay? FYI. But all of y'all are descendants of a Haitian deity named Brigitte Samedi. That's why all gingers are black.
Gingers, don't you dare mess this up for our community.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, I feel like this is a bit of a light topic here, and we are going to be featuring the trending topic on TikTok where somebody started a rumor that gingers were black people, yeah?
Right, so in today's episode, we're going to be looking at black Americans reacting to this trend, and we're also going to be hearing from a few gingers who came out to speak about this particular trend.
Right, before this, guys, genuinely, I never knew that gingers were being treated differently in the white community. So from this episode, I feel like it's a bit of an educative episode because what a lot of them, the speakers who we are going to be featuring, have in common, they're all talking about the experiences they had growing up, and it wasn't a nice one, you know.
Right, and they're also speaking of how they were being picked on by kids who looked different from them,
Except from the black community.
Yes, except from the black kids, right? So let's watch this episode and then we come back and talk about it. You can also let us know what you think about this particular episode and consider subscribing if you're new to our channel.
Right.
Let's watch.
All right, so now gingers think that they're black, and I'm not sure why this is going around social media.
I just want to say, shut up. Let us have our moment. It's not for you to understand. We are extremely excited about this news. And for you to come on here because the news isn't about you and you don't understand, you know what? Just let us have our moment. We are flipping thrilled. I can't wait till barbecue season. I mean, summer is upon us. I am going to be invited to so many different places because I have a new family.
We finally...
Yo, her video had me wondering, was Prince Harry treated like this? He's the redhead of the family. It all makes sense now.
Child, I done woke up on this side of TikTok where the gingers are back. Or shall I say, black. Listen, I did not know that they was treating y'all like this, baby, but welcome. Welcome to the community. I love this for y'all. Few things I need y'all to know. I need y'all to know the ER, the hard ER, done. Don't let them call you that no more. You are gingers. You hear me? Gingers, okay? No more ginger. All right? Next, we don't let them touch our hair. That beautiful, gorgeous hair of yours, somebody try to touch it, back the hell up. Don't touch our hair. We don't do that. All right? Next, y'all want y'all invite to the cookout. Y'all got it, baby. But let's ease on in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to cook nothing. Bring stuff, you know, that's like forks, plates, cups, foil, you know, things like that. But I'm excited. We outside this summer, baby.
She said redheads, gingers are black, okay? And it did not matter to us that she was not talking about culture. It did not really matter that she was talking about having a common ancestor. That is an added layer of beauty for sure. But for us, we've been ready to leave, okay? You said that, and no sooner were the words out of your mouth than we had, you know, divorce papers were served and we were halfway down the block. I cannot stress enough how stupid life is for no reason sometimes for redheads. Like most of the time people just you're just another person, right? You're just another white guy. But then there's handfuls of people that you run into like landmines, and they have a very strong opinion about your existence. Okay? Half of them will fetishize you, which I don't know. I don't get a lot of that personally, but it has happened, right? I've had people saying, "Oh, they love my hair." And then they touch me. They touch my hair. That happens even to me. I have the sexual appeal of a big toe with a yeast infection, okay? So if that's happening to me, I know that redheaded women are dealing with just dog-ass men so much all the time. And on the other side of that, you've got people who just can't not bring up that you're a redhead. It's like the scene from Austin Powers when he's like, moly, 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 moly. It's like that. It feels like that.
Okay, firstly, good morning or good afternoon, depending on whatever time you see this. Child, we got some stuff to unpack. So there's this trend going around on TikTok that all gingers are black people. And it is the most beautiful and hilarious thing to watch all of these ginger people who are not melanated, by the way, the ones that I've been seeing, find out that they have black ancestry. It's beautiful to witness because a lot of the videos that I've seen is, you know, ginger people, non-melanated ginger people are coming into their own sense of belonging. Like, oh my gosh, I never understood why I felt so accepted by, you know, the black community. Like, listen, there's a special place, at least for me in my family. We have gingers in our family. And there's always been a special place for ginger people, especially non-melanated ones, in our hearts. It just always has been. But what has even been more hilarious to watch is that people finding out that Malcolm X was a ginger. Y'all didn't know that? Like, I call it the 3 no's of darkness. You don't know that you don't know that you don't know something. But like, for them to be shocked that Malcolm X was a ginger, y'all, it is the most hilarious and beautiful thing to witness. I promise it is. Now, obviously, Malcolm X, Lewis Little, he was known as Detroit Red. And that is because his mother had Grenadian and Scottish descent. So it's just hilarious to see watching the gingers really recognize, like, oh, damn, I'm black. Yeah, baby. Now, from a biological standpoint, gingers appear in multiple ethnicities, and it is because of the MC1R gene. But it's shocking to the non-melanated people to figure out that they got some black in them because you share a gene.
As a male ginger who grew up through all of these,
gingers have no friends and no one will have sex with them. They come out at night, they creep and crawl. Who does God hate most of all? Gingers. Who should have never been born? Gingers. Who's adopted? Gingers. Who belongs with floating turds in the fucking toilet bowl? Gingers.
I just want to say to all of you that are part of this TikTok trend, thank you.
This is the second time that I've tried to make this video, and I'm going to try to keep it concise. I keep getting too long-winded or too emotional. I just wanted to share why the gingers are black trend is made me smile so much and made me feel so loved. It brought me back to being 9 years old on the playground in the 4th grade in my very rural redneck town. I had been being bullied a lot by kids in my school, and there was a couple of instances that really stick out in my memory. It was almost 30 years ago, but one was these popular girls who had never really talked to me before suddenly wanted to play with me, and then they wanted to play this game that I never heard of but made us talk to the spirits. It was a very spooky game, and the spirits ended up telling them that the girl with purple pants, I had purple bell bottoms on, and red hair was evil and a witch. And so they began to laugh and scream and run away from me. And while I was confused on what was happening and why this was happening, we ended up all getting in trouble because it caused such a disruption in the class. And they convinced the teacher that it was my fault, that I was teaching them witchcraft. I was a super sheltered Christian girl at the time, so it was devastating. But in that class, I had 2 friends who were always kind to me. Stacy, a little black boy who helped me learn my multiplication tables, and he was the funniest kid I knew, and we would always make sure our desks were together whenever we switched up desks that year. And then Chambray, a little black girl who we bonded over people being weird about our hair and wanting to touch it, and we made a promise to each other that only we could touch each other's hair. So on recess we would always play with each other's hair, putting it in ponytails and braids. They were my best friends. It was my last year in school, so it was very lonely when I left school, and I missed them a lot, and I still think about them all the time. But together, all of us were bullied. I remember one particular bad day, We all got chased, and when I got chased down, they screamed at me that I was an inward lover. Didn't really understand what that meant. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was bad. And I realized that I looking back, I know I woke up when I was 9 years old. I was in a very conservative family. My family made lots of jokes that were not okay. And ever since that year, I would fight them. I would scream. I would cry. I would throw fits. I remember my family saying, like, why are you like this? How are you like this? How'd you end up like this? Because I was so sensitive.
In all seriousness, with the trend going on, all gingers are black, I have not felt this much love ever in my life. And to the girl that's making this go viral, I just gotta say thank you. Thank you for the love. But honestly, truthfully, thank you, all of you. I hated being a redhead growing up, because I was that kid in special ed who couldn't read, who couldn't write, and I also had red hair. I had a stutter, and now I grew up to be pretty successful. But I never felt loved. But until today, like, oh my gosh. So to the girl who made this go super viral, if you're ever in Dallas, Texas, let's go to dinner.
I just watched a video about this guy named Redheads Rule, and he was crying, talking about the fact that he grew up with a stutter, grew up in special ed. Now that he's very successful, but he grew up not feeling loved, not feeling liked by the outside world. This man was crying, talking about the love that he has received just since the girl came out with the video talking about that all redheads, all gingers are actually black. And the amount of gingers that are coming out just celebrating the fact that they can, quote unquote, come to the cookout, the fact that they feel like they belong. And I never even realized, if y'all think back about like Lindsay Lohan and how Paris Hilton and everybody just ostracized her and made her feel like a terrible person, talking about her being a redhead, and just how much redheads don't get so much love. Gingers, whatever one is most appropriate to call them, because I hope I'm not saying the wrong thing. But needless to say, black people are, one, so magical, and two, you know, when I looked it up, I cannot confirm or deny that gingers are actually black, because I saw that it was like a genetic mutation that can exist amongst multiple races. But we're just gonna go with that. We're gonna go with what she said and say that gingers are more than welcome, because I did not really realize just how much gingers did not get love. And
something incredible has happened to redheads and gingers. I don't know if you know, but many people of the black community have came out and said that they see redheads and gingers aligned with many of the genetic features and the characteristics of black women. This has really brought up such an important issue, because many of these gorgeous women are coming forward and saying that they can identify that something is off with the way that redheads are treated by many people in the white community. And this is something difficult thing to talk about, because it's not racism. I don't know where that falls, but being born with red hair and super pale skin but not feeling accepted is a really, really tough spot to be in. You get bullied from a young age, you're made to believe it's horrible, people insult you without even meaning to. Some of the things that people have said to me because I have ginger hair growing up has been the most unhinged experience of my life. I once met a woman who came up to me and she said, I like your ginger hair, but honestly my biggest fear when I was pregnant was that I was going to give birth to a ginger baby, and I didn't know what to say, and I just was like, okay. She's like, and I'm really sorry for saying this. She was like, but I actually think I would prefer a child with a disability than red hair. And that is genuinely, hand on heart, what someone has said to me. That is just honestly not even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the type of comments that you're experiencing when you're growing up with red hair.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the episode you just played in the comment section. I don't know if a lot of you remember the video from the clips we just played you, the commercial that was being run about gingers, yeah? So I don't even know if a lot of them like being called by that term or, being identified as such,
Right, but if there's anyone who has redhead on our platform, you can let us know down in the comment section. Is being referred to a ginger, is it like Is it an insult or is it okay for people to refer you like that, right? And also, I wanted to ask, especially the Black American community, are ginger people genetically black? Or because I feel like I've seen ginger people from all races, except Asians, of course, black and white. I've seen gingers in both communities.
But at the end of the day, they normally say that all people came from black people, you know. So I don't
Fair
know.
point.
This is something we'd have to do our research on. But let's just go by what people on TikTok are going by. People are happy and they're okay. I see both sides accepting each other. And there was even a blonde lady there who was
trying to bring discourse and, you know, who tried to divide and conquer these two groups of people who accepted to be in each other's presence.
But I feel like if they've been always treated bad by the white community, you'd see why they want to fit somewhere they are acceptable, you know.
Yeah, and they're appreciated and celebrated.
Yeah, going back to that commercial, guys, if you had all the words that were being sung in that, I feel like that is how pretty much propaganda starts, and that is how you successfully manage to turn people's opinion against a certain thing that you don't want to be accepted. It's kind of like similar to the blue-eyed and the other regular eyes. The person who started, there was a point in life, I do believe, that people with blue eyes and blonde hair used to be treated as very, very specially, and they used to be viewed as very special people.
Right. And with this being said, guys, I do feel like when, I don't know, was it a black woman who started the trend? I do feel like when she started this trend, maybe what she was referring to was not so much a genetical issue, but identity, how both groups are treated with discrimination.
But you can't assume why somebody said what they did, but go on.
Okay, my interpretation of this situation is they both are facing struggles from the same group of people who are discriminating both of them, and this is why I do feel like this is how I've interpreted it. This is why they're referring to gingers as black people, because they also have their own struggles within the white community and they're discriminated upon by the white community.
Yeah, it does make sense, but you don't know why she said what she said. Maybe she comes out and clears it, but what matters is how it has been received, and both parties are accepting each other. Personally, I didn't know that the ginger community really had this much issues, and they faced a lot of issues, but also we are big, huge fans of WWE, right? And we are big fans of wrestling. So there's this wrestler who calls himself Sheamus. I don't know if he still goes by that name because he might have changed it. And he was also a ginger, and he used to talk about how he grew up with identity issues and he grew up being bullied a lot, you know. And I can't help but remember him when I listen to a lot of these speakers, especially that woman who was telling her story about when she was a child and she was bullied a lot, but the only people who she could manage to befriend were the black kids in her class.
Right, and this also reminds me of a very important question one of our speakers has posed to the audience, which she asked, within the royal family in United Kingdom, is it the same reason why Harry has always been treated as an outcast? And would this also explain why he is married to a black woman?
That's a good question.
It's a really good question, because I do feel like, okay, everybody is beautiful, yeah? But if you'd ask me as Maureen, within the white community, who would you find attractive? I do feel like
gingers are rare.
Gingers are rare and they're beautiful. They're maybe being bullied because the other white people would like to have, you know, the
features,
ginger hair.
And they normally say you can human beings' eyes cannot comprehend cuteness. That is why you'll see a cat and go, oh, you want to touch it.
Others will want to poke it
just to see the reaction of that little cute pet.
Right.
And maybe something, I feel like the same way when you go to a certain demography and you become the rarest person, they consider you exotic.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll start to even bully you because they can't understand
Or
what you
can't
are.
have.
You are unique to what they're used to.
Right, it's the same situation when an African goes. Those used to be right now. It's becoming common, but there was a point where an African would go to Asia, and this African would be considered exotic there, you know. And you're like, in Africa, we don't see ourselves as exotic or whatnot, but when you go to some other place, people consider you that. When you go to China, people see you as that because they're not used to the kind of hair you have, braiding and all that. They're not used to seeing black people or such things, you know. So I feel like that is the kind of the same or similar case with gingers. You don't see a lot of them, like a population of them, that when you do come across one, like they're
Your first
treated
instinct, maybe they're
differently.
threatened. That's what, the people who see them, they're threatened.
Not
That's
threatened, but they definitely treat
no,
them differently.
as in they're threatened by how beautiful they are. That's why they start bullying. Have you ever noticed in a class when you are in high school, right? The most beautiful girl sometimes would be bullied by other groups of people just because of how beautiful they are. And when you go to this group of people and ask them, what is your particular problem with this beautiful child? They wouldn't have any particular reason.
True, I do remember in high school we used to have a lady who she was pretty. You know those people who God takes their time when they're
building them,
when they're
beautiful
creating
eyes, everything.
Yeah, you feel like one person. They normally say God can't give you everything, but trust me, if
When
you're
you find a person who's been given everything,
you do notice, you know. And such people, because it's hard for people to approach them or it's hard for people to befriend them, they find
the easiest
another way to
through
interact
them is by bullying them, you know.
but they just want to have some sort of interaction with them, even if that means coming out with a negative interaction with these people, just so they can engage you in an interaction, you know.
But
Anyway,
all in all, I do feel like I love the love going on between these two groups because they each have faced different discriminations and struggles, you know, and you can't lessen someone else's struggle.
Yeah, and
because
for that particular reason, it helps them be compassionate. So
to each other.
Exactly. They sort of kind of can understand each other, you know.
Right, and this is why I do believe gingers are very happy on social media that they've been included in another
the
group.
black community.
Yeah, and the black community is accepting them wholeheartedly. And as for the black community, I just feel happy of how they've openly welcomed the gingers, so long as nobody starts any weird.
Yeah,
you know,
and they
how
let
it
the
goes.
lady who specifically came in with a handbook to give them the do's and don'ts, and she's
Yes.
like, "I'm gonna teach you something, you know. First of all, don't let them touch your hair." She's like giving because they've kind of gone through the same struggles. Everybody wants to touch their hair. It's like, look at somebody with a red hair. How different is it from a blonde person or someone with a brunette, you know? But because it's red, people want to touch it and feel
see
it. It's not different.
if it's coming from the roots or not.
It's not different. It's just anyway,
It's
guys,
the color.
It's just the color.
But guys, tell us with all honesty, if you saw a redhead, even if it's a black or a white person, but they have red heads, I feel like I would want to understand their redheadness. Anyway, I don't know.
Curious.
I'd be curious,
but for an
but not to a point where I bully that person. You get?
To be honest, okay, maybe I think personally I wanted to say in Africa, if we came across a redhead who's African, I wouldn't want to touch their hair. Don't take it like that. Let me just finish my statement, because even someone with a normal black hair, I don't touch people's hair like that. You know, I'm not that curious. So I feel like maybe it's just an African thing. Like people are not to just keep your hands to yourself. People don't go unless it's a Africans do get curious by a white person's hair. So whatever black Americans go through in America, white people go through in Africa. So I feel like it's human nature, except the only thing you can't excuse is the racism, bullying and whatnot that people always showcase when it's someone different, especially if they have a different skin color or a feature that they can't understand, you know. Yeah, so let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section.
And also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel.
Yeah.
And please join us on our next episode, and we'll see you then.